Say hello. We're on camera. Say hello, Olympia. Say hello to the people. They haven't seen you in months. They haven't seen how big you are. Olympia's a year old now. This is going to last about 5 seconds. Alright, go chase your fly. Hello everybody. Sorry for the long absence. Where have all of you been? Oh, wait a minute. You haven't been anywhere. I have. Okay, well, long story short, last September or October, my Mac that I had had for 9 years finally kicked the bucket. And when I say kicked the bucket, it was dead. And so I got this. I got a new Hewlett Packard laptop in December. I wanted to go back to doing my regular videos, you know, my reviews, my talk about my books and movies and things, and what I'm doing writing wise. Quite a bit going on, and the camera on it was terrible. I mean, it does have a camera. The camera works, but it's like the images looks like it's raining yellow blobs. And apparently there's no adjusting it. Or if there is, I don't know how to do it. We tried. And my brother gave me this. And the Hewlett Packard is very slow. It's very onerous to use. Sometimes it kind of works okay. But my brother sent me a this Dell, which works much better, but I think, as you can see, the camera is not great. This lighting just looks really terrible, and I've done everything I know to do to try to get the lighting a little bit better, but I think it's mainly it's the camera, but it's a hell of a lot better than the the HP. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do a few videos, quick videos on different things, and the first being an update on my writing and just what I've been up to, and then I'll get a new camera for the laptop, one that's much better. But anyway, my Mac died last fall. And I guess I was spoiled because what I know is I'm going to have to break down and get another Mac, because for me, I guess it's all about what you get used to, but there's just nothing like it. For years and years, it was so easy to use, and everything on it was so quick and so fast. I did have some problems in the last year with it, where it started to drag and be slow, and I'd have to defrag and reboot constantly and things like that, but for the most part it was just a fantastic machine. And but anyway, just want to do a short video about my own writing projects, and then I'm going to do one a library haul, and talk about an advanced reader copy book that I got a few weeks ago that I'm very excited about, and then I have another video in mind that I'll do, and I'll space these. I'll post them, space them a few days apart. My fables, my series of, I guess you'd call them dystopic fables. The agent and editors who are looking at them, referring to them as fantasy. I guess they would have to be. But I don't know about other writers, but when I write, I don't really think in terms of genre. I have nothing against genre. I read a lot of genres, love them very much. But when I'm writing, I don't think, oh, I'm writing a fantasy, or I'm writing a horror, or I'm writing a suspense story, or I'm writing literary fiction. I'm just writing what I'm writing and work on it very hard and hope that it's good. And there you have it. But we're living in an era where there must be labels. Everything has to be labels. To me, my fables are maybe dystopic fables, but apparently there's no shelf in the bookstores, labeled dystopian fables. but there are fantasy. So that's probably what's going to happen. But I think I've talked about this before. There are two big books. Big books are out right now for the most part, unless you're already very famous, which I'm not. If you're an unknown writer, most publishers will not look. They'll look at the word count, and if you're more than 350 pages, they're not even going to look at it. Unless they have some compelling reason to. But so we've decided to break the books in each book into two, so that'll be 4 fables, and someday I will write a 5th. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they're complete. Each one of them could be read by themselves, I think, but and my preference would be that they be 2 books. Then someday I'll write the 3rd, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, and I'm okay with that. Some editors are looking at my fables right now. The 2 books are called Lord Audric and the Throne of Fire and Last of their kind. And they'll have some suggestions, and I'm fine with suggestions as long as they make sense to me, as long as I feel they make the books better, as long as they make sense and don't go against the integrity of the books. Then if I can see how the work is enhanced and made better, then I'm okay with that, as long as it's not major. If you're asking for major changes, then you probably don't understand the book, don't like it, don't understand what I'm trying to do. So but I don't think that's going to happen. So but what I'm working on right now is a collection of short stories. I've been working on these since late last summer. I think I started in June or July, actually. And they are, for want of a better word, suspense stories. The collection is going to be called The Infernal and Other Tales of Suspense. Suspense being the best overall catchword for the collection. Some of them are horror, some of them are suspenseful. There's one story that probably doesn't fit, that is probably more literary fiction. It's called Noriko of the 7 Days, but there is a kind of little resurrection in the middle of it, so maybe that would help it qualify. Where is that? I think it's going to be 8 stories, short stories. I've tried to write short stories many years ago, and that didn't work. But this time has actually gone extremely well. I'm kind of amazed at how smoothly it's gone, and here and there, I've stumbled a little bit, but I don't know if it's a good sign or not. The writing has never gone this smooth before. I just suddenly had some ideas for some stories and started jotting them down and started writing them one by one and making notes and outlines on the others. And it's gone very well. I would say the 8 stories are all near completion. I'm in the middle of actually I just kind of started the 8th one this past weekend. It's going to be a fairly short story. I just finished the longest story in the collection, called That Summer, That Sunday, which is about witches, and it's the longest story by far. It was 70-something handwritten pages, which will probably translate to about 2/3 of that in printed pages, just depending on how it's printed. But I'm very happy with the stories. I feel like they're good, and my thinking is that I'm going to self-publish this book. Mainly, I am sending some of the stories out to see if they might be published in magazines or online or in reviews. But my thinking is I would like to get this book out by sometime this summer, and because I've not published anything, and I really am feeling the passage of time, and I would really like to have something out there, the author of, people can go, they can look at it, they can like it, not like it, love it, whatever, but I'll have something out there you know, in the marketplace to point at, to underline as being mine. My writing, people will have a good idea of what it is that I do, even though it's different from anything else that I've done. I've basically finished my childhood memoir. Don't really know what I'm going to do with that. Well, I don't want to publish that first, even though some memoirs do make good first books, and I think this could. And I may just go ahead and self-publish it or submit it for publication, but still need to tweak it a little bit, work on it a little bit more, but basically it's done. And that one is called A Boy There Was, and it's basically about me as a child in the 60s, and, you know, from very turbulent and abusive childhood I had that I was subjected to, and basically how my love of the arts, reading, pretend, fantasy saved me. Basically, that was my anchor, that was my buoy. But anyway, memoir. After the story collection is done in the next few months, I have a short novel that I guess, again, I would label as a horror novel. I'm thinking this is going to be a novella, probably not more than 200 pages. Really a short book. And I mean, these things, you know, your best laid plans, sometimes you're surprised, but my thinking is that it's going to be a short novel. I want it to be a short novel. I don't want it to be a big giant book, you know, but that is more, that's pretty solidly a horror book. I've always wanted to write a big, and I don't think this one is it, but a big, haunting, classy horror novel, you know. And in some ways, my story collection, The Infernal, is kind of like each one is sort of a smaller realization of this dream. The horror novel, the short horror novel, right now is named after the title character. The title character whose name is Morgan Borthwick, and it's quite a compelling story. I think you guys will like it whenever it appears. But lots of things on the table. Glad to be back doing videos, and hopefully I can keep doing this with a better camera soon. Leave me comments below. Tell me what you've been up to, what you've been reading. I'm going to stop this now and do a library haul video, and hopefully talk to you again soon in the not too distant future with a better camera. So, you know, thanks for hanging in there with me, and everybody take good care.